Do my snapshots now while I'm thinking about it.
Okay. And at any moment, we'll be going live. So just smile.
My snapshots now while I'm thinking about it.
Okay. All right. So we are live on YouTube. I see that we are live. We'll be going live. So just smile. Now I'm confused why I'm hearing this echo.
Right. Ain't it now? I should have let my chair up because I look like I'm lower than you. Hold up. Will it go up some more?
All right. So we are live on YouTube. I see that we are live. We'll be going live. So just smile. Now I'm confused why I'm hearing this echo.
Right. Ain't it now?
I think we have two.
I look like I'm lower than you. Hold up.
All right. So we are live on YouTube. I'm confused why this is doing this.
I'm gonna go on YouTube, see if I can find us.
Now I'm confused why I'm hearing this echo.
Right. Okay, I see it's live. Okay, marketing.
I think we have two.
Hold up. All right. So we on now.
I'm confused why this is doing this.
Mary Baker is already joined us. Hey, Mary.
Hey, Mary.
Okay, I see it's live. She said she heard the four loops too. So you might need to stop and then do it again, maybe.
I'm confused why this is doing this.
Mary Baker.
Okay, can she still see us now and hear us?
Oh, she said this is maddening.
Yeah, what about now? Ask her, is it better now?
I still hear it going. Oh, I'm talking to my phone like she on the phone.
Is it better now? Because what I did was muted the YouTube.
She's laughing. She said, "You all, I'm hearing it looping. Okay, you're good." She said, "You're good now."
Okay, so yeah, I had to take that off. So, what happens is I'm in Zoom and then I just hit to go live. So when you do that, it feeds it where your YouTube opens up. So you have two of them open at the same time. So I'm glad
Okay.
that that worked out. So
Yeah, she said, no more. She said it's not doing it anymore. All the voices stopped.
praise God. Okay. So we
Yes,
got
thank
that
you,
worked
Mary.
out. So you just got to know, look, we are doing these things impromptu. And so, it just happens. Well,
Right.
um, so this is our Christmas in July event, and we just decided to go live with this because it's a great opportunity for business owners to learn the power of planning in advance. So before we get into what we're going to talk about, we want to start with some introductions. So I'm going to let you start, Anita.
All right. Well, look at here. Christmas in July. Who ever thought it, right? Only America Supermom, y'all. Only America Supermom. And I'm here for the party. Look, I am here for it. Okay. I love it. I love it. So, look, again, we are here, like she said. I am Anita Newsom, also known as Anita in the Biz Coach. And I love having fun. Look, I don't know about all this Christmas stuff. I don't be doing a lot of shopping. So she's gonna be calling people like me out here just in a minute, okay? But what I love to do is actually I work with individuals, nonprofits, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs to have a voice for their vision and a mouth for their mission. And some of the ways I go about doing that is helping them with funding opportunities, helping them create and brand their story. And I just love to help people, find out where the money at. I love people finding out where the money at, okay? Whether that's through grants, loans, and other options, right? So always loving to collaborate with my friend here, my sister, my ace boon coon in these business streets and these branding streets, baby. We are doing the thing. We doing the thing. So I just love it, and I'm glad to be here today.
Well, I am glad that you're here and excited to get into today's conversation. So, I'm LaChelle, also known as America's Supermom, mother of 15 children. And I'm a media strategist. I help you to monetize your gifts and passions and create a better impact, global impact in the world through media. So I'm excited to be here today. And although this is a time that a lot of people are like, I don't even want to hear about Christmas. It seems like we just got done with Christmas and it's already time to go back to school. But one of the things that just really helps me with my mental wellness, because this month also is Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, is
Yes.
being able to plan in advance and reflect on how I felt about things in the past and how I can change it in the present. So for me, what started out where it was like, oh my gosh, every year at Christmas, I am not going to do this to myself again next year. Right? It's like you're waiting to the last minute, doing your shopping or trying to coordinate your calendar, with who's got what, where are you traveling to? Are you going to be at somebody else's house or are they coming to yours? All this stuff. And we wait till the last minute and we're like, you know what? I am not doing that next year. But what happens? The cycle just
Yeah.
keeps on repeating.
The cycle, okay?
You
Ooh,
know,
Jesus.
so much that everybody says, yeah, you know what, I'm not going to do it either. And nobody takes the time to plan and do something different. So that is really how I got started with Christmas in July. And it's also a marketing tip, right? Because if you're the first one to start talking about Christmas, as the months go into getting ready for the holidays, people will go back and look and say, well, I wonder what they're doing. They were talking about Christmas in July. So,
Yeah.
what new things are coming out, or, where are they at today? Right. So,
Yeah.
this is how we got started with Christmas in July. So, the question that we usually have, we always have to have a question when we come together for our monthly meet and greets. And that's really what this is indicative of. We did have one for July, but this one is every July 25th is a Christmas in July. And we have a question that we break out in different breakout rooms and ask. And this question for this session is, who are you shopping for? Right? Now, a lot of times people are like, okay, what does this have to do with strategy and planning? But you have to start with the end in mind. Because when you begin to put down on paper the people that you're shopping for, you realize you can't do it in a day. I mean, if I just put down all my kids, right, that alone will just stop me in my tracks. That's not including my grandkids or my parents or extended parents or my son in laws or daughter-in-laws, right? I mean, it's just like that's just in the immediate family. So, do you have a neighbor that you shop for? Or what about your kids? Do they get gifts for their teachers? Are you in class, right? Where you want to get some gifts? Do you have clients that you buy for?
Yeah.
Vendors that support your brand? I mean, the list goes on, y'all.
Yeah.
So, when you're starting with the end in mind, it makes it where it's like, okay, I know I can't do this in a day.
Mm.
So, how am I going to get started with this? And this is how the strategy begins.
I love all of that. That was a lot. That was a lot, LaChelle. I don't just listening to your immediate, I don't even know how you praise God. I'm just like, ooh, I didn't even think about all of that. In-laws and son-in-laws, daughter-in-laws. Oh my goodness. It could go, yeah, that could be overwhelming. I could see how, a person can just really, get overwhelmed with stuff like that. And then, if you're already a type of person that allows yourself to get overwhelmed, that's a double whammy, right? It's a lot.
It's a lot.
So I think having a strategy like this, especially for people, that have larger families, it's good to start thinking about it at this midpoint and
Hmm.
not put that stress on yourself. Why put extra stress on yourself when you have all this time? You can start now, just a little bit, just one little thing. And see, with my family, it's just the opposite, right? I have four sons, then I have my mom, my brother. I do have, nieces and nephews, but it's like I don't hardly even see them. I don't want to see everybody, but like you said, as far as we try to switch up every year. Okay, mom's coming here this year for Thanksgiving. We'll go there for Christmas, and then we used
Mhm.
to switch it up. I don't even know where we are now with that. I just stopped keeping up. But what we started doing is we just started pulling names because it was like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we ain't got but a little handful, and we pulling names. It was like no, and then we still be waiting till the last minute. We be on Christmas vacation. Oh yeah, we gotta steal names, don't we? Girl, it'd be crazy. I'm like, why are we doing this like 3 days before Christmas? This don't make no sense.
It is so true. And so we do that same thing. So like our kids, they pull names.
Okay.
So they pull names. We do it at Thanksgiving. So around that
Yeah.
time frame so that they can, shop early if they want to. But they draw names and they coordinate it themselves. They keep up with who
Really?
got who. And
Okay.
then we don't give them any gifts. Now, we just started this last year where we did a destination Christmas. My husband and I, we never exchange gifts because our anniversary is January 2nd. So we're just like, hey, it's the kids, we just don't do that. So, but this way, it's not on us. If they want to get each other some stuff, they really took the lead with that because we started doing that some years back. And so now it's all them. They coordinated and, get everybody together for that. So I like that drawing of the names, because I
Right.
tried to get them on that when I was buying for my nieces and nephews with my sister-in-laws and brother-in-laws. I was like, look, why don't we just get a family and then we get the whole family and then that way nobody has to deal with all that. But yeah, it can be crazy because it can just, and then you end up spending money that maybe it's not intentional. You're intent on getting them a gift, but it may not even be something that they like or can use. And you spending
Right.
that money that could have been spent on something else.
Well, look, that's one thing that I was like, I want to make sure because that has happened too many times. I'm like, why did this boy buy me these socks with individual toes? I don't wear stuff like that. I don't even see my toes half the time in the winter. I just, keep socks on, whatever. I don't want to see my feet. But I was like, no, we're going to do a wish list. So
Hmm.
every person make up at least, 3 to 5 things, and this is the budget. We set a minimum, I think it is, or max, I forgot which way. But got to do those things because I ain't trying to have no whole bunch of caps, and a whole bunch of purses. Well, really, you
It's
just get
true.
money. I can pay off some bills. So that's Merry Christmas for me. Jesus' gift. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. And I like the way that this conversation is going because, if you have that list of knowing who you're shopping for, a lot of times for me, it would be such a burden. What we've always done, like the three gifts for the kids,
Mhm.
thinking of the three wise men. And so that's how we really kind of didn't really go into all out with Christmas. However, three gifts for 15 people, that's still a lot of stuff, right?
It's
And
a
then you're wrapping it or whatever. And when you have a list, you're able to delegate some of that stuff out, right? So
lot.
if I have an older child, say, hey, you're buying for the younger ones, and this is the budget. This way, other people can help you with whatever it is that you're planning on accomplishing for the holiday. But a lot of times, if it's in our head and we're like, oh, I still got to do this, I got to do that. And people say, well, how can I help you? No, don't worry about it. I got it because you don't have a system or anything,
Ah,
ironed out, right?
yeah, yeah. I like that word system. you know, because in business, really, that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be, animating, I'm saying, no, automating,
Hmm.
right? And having a system to where whether we I keep saying you went to Dubai. What was
Aruba.
Aruba. Same thing to me. I ain't been to
I
either
guess
one of them.
I'm going to Dubai. I look,
You
I
are.
received
I'm
them.
sorry. We are. We are.
You
Excuse
know,
me.
I'm gonna tell you a funny thing. One of my connections from Dubai reached out to me this morning. So the
Well,
fact
who
that
is
you're
it?
saying that, she
Well,
has
where
a
is it?
connection. Yeah, she has a connection here in Georgia. And so she's trying to coordinate us getting together, but she's in Dubai. So I believe that nothing is by accident. So I
Yeah,
read the signs, y'all. So
I
hey,
received it
got my
too.
passport. I'm ready to go.
Okay, then get on me. I don't let mine expire. Anyway, so no, what was I saying?
Aruba.
Taking in the
Aruba, though.
world, girl. What was I talking about? Systems. There we go.
Right.
So, so having these systems. So, like I said, when you're on vacation, your system is still running,
Yes.
right? That thing is still moving, even though you're on vacation, even though you're in the bed late today, even though you're trying to see about planning a wedding for one of your children. It's still going. Am I speaking that into existence? It's still
Mm-hmm.
going. Hopefully not myself. It's still going. Too soon, too soon. Even when you're not there.
Yeah.
So having a system even for this, for planning for Christmas and having things in place for your family, even if you're out of the picture, that it still operates and it still moves and does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. So I love that. I mean, I think, systems is where it's at because how often do we get these emergencies, right? Or the weather changes, something that's out of our control. We plan on doing something, then it's raining. Okay, so what's going to be the backup plan, right? And so
Yeah,
when we have systems, things go on and people don't even know, right?
right.
Speaking of which, like, we're thinking ahead. We've been working on Get Branding.
Yes.
And this happened to organically turn into so many other things
Oh my
because we
God.
just got started, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
think you can have an intention, but also take an action. And creating the system allows you to continue to grow and scale in real time, and so having that mindset really works, from the very beginning.
It does, because I mean, when it comes to the Get Branded, we had no idea that it was going to grow into what it has grown into. But we're here for it, right?
Hmm.
And as you see that it works, even though we're building, as you say, building the plane as we're flying, right? Because that's what happens a lot of times.
It's
Oh, we
true.
need another wing over here. Please put the wing on. Okay, nose dive, right?
It's true.
We building it and it has just grown. So we're getting ready. We're gonna talk about that in a few minutes, but we're getting ready to do a whole new addition to it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're getting ready to move it
Yeah.
to another city, another
Yeah.
state. So yeah.
So we're excited about that. So one of the things that I would say, is the first tip for people, because as we're thinking about the holidays and everything, is to customize your Zoom backgrounds. So many
Mhm.
of us as business owners are always on Zoom, if you have that virtual setup. Now, I believe that live events are where it's at because you can really get a lot of momentum. However, if you're in a state where your business is virtual, the first thing is to have a Zoom background. So customize it for whatever things that you have coming up. Just because it's not Christmas yet, there's nothing stopping you from having a Christmas special Zoom,
That's right.
background that is highlighting your offer or your services, just as we have. So I like to have these conversations so people can see this is how you do it, right? It's a
You can
template.
do it.
You just
Yeah.
switch out whatever is on there, put your picture on, put your phrase or tagline, your logo. And then we have a QR code. So this QR code is going to our Get Branded next session that begins in August. But
Yeah.
maybe you have a book that you just recently released, or you have a special coaching program or some other offer. You can just make a QR code and put it in your on your Zoom. And so these things are easily done with Canva. This is nothing but a Canva template. So I do want to say that that's one of the first tips around um, being out there and promoting. We don't think about our backgrounds, we don't think about being intentional. And then it's like, oh, did I even put my information in the chat? Is the link in there? Well, you could just put it on your Zoom background. So
That's
that's
right.
tip
That's
number
right.
one.
You educated me on that. I didn't even know you could put a whole slideshow behind you going on.
Yes,
I
you can.
love that, and idea, you shared this with me before is, you could use that for sponsorships or,
Yeah.
promos for folks. Hey, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have this big virtual event. Sell your space, baby, make it work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I love when you start sharing that kind of stuff. And I'm like, and this is the kind of stuff that we share and we talk about in our Get Branded sessions, in our masterminds that you'll be talking about soon.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the things that when we are educating and supporting our clients, we share these kind of tidbits because every little thing counts. Just like we say, everything is content. And I got to remember, I did a snapshot of this of us before we started. So I got to remember we talked about that on loop. I got to remember to put that somewhere before I forget.
It's true. It's true. Because
Yeah.
everything is content. So I love that you brought that up. And I'm over here taking my screenshot as I think about it. But, because these are things that we can use later on, because other people may not be available to always participate in every event that you have. So we
Right.
just had this situation last night. It was a world premiere for a new show that's on the network, and we had a wonderful keynote speaker who was a international hostage for 5 years. So he's been on CNN, ABC, major news networks. And the gist of his story was that, he was working a corporate job and he had no brand or anything for himself. He really didn't have no activity on social media. Everything was about his business, right?
Mhm.
And once he was a hostage and was returned back home, everything changed. He was interviewed on major news outlets and just getting more exposure. Now he's a speaker, he's an author, and
Yeah.
telling about his story of resilience. And it was such a great example about how we do not think about the brand that we're creating, right?
Mhm.
Until maybe something happens or we miss out on opportunities to even grow because we don't even think we have a brand.
Yes, that's right.
Hmm.
Girl, his story is so amazing, what he went through. And then like you said, he said he got this call all of a sudden. He was like, who is this calling me on this? I don't know this number. And he was like, hello, yeah, this is ABC News or whatever it was, whatever outlet it was
Hmm.
on. He was like, what? All of a sudden, you're a national, international, figure, right?
Hmm.
And you blow up overnight. It happens, it happens quite often nowadays, with a lot of people. So are you ready for that? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? How do you prepare yourself for something like that? All of a sudden you're nationally known, or you have to come up with a brand, right? But
Hmm.
you had no clue what is a brand. I don't even know what that means. So to hear him talk about his story was amazing. And it was so encouraging that he could go through being an international hostage for 5 years. Okay, I might not have lasted 5 days, 5 hours. Let's just
Exactly.
let's just be
Exactly.
honest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he went through that for 5 years and to be able to come out of it victorious and give
Yeah.
his testimony, his story. I mean, man, that's just, you have no excuse now. I'm like, I need to stop complaining about, these little things that I'm encountering when somebody can be, kept hostage for that long and then still come out, being so encouraging and sharing his story. It was just, it was overwhelming.
Hmm. So again, I just think it's opportunities like that to where I just took a screenshot of
Mhm.
the event and just posted it. And these are things a lot of times that we don't think about as being content. We don't think about, some of the pictures maybe that you've had last year, for Christmas. You can begin to create a runway, so to speak, leading up to the holiday using those experiences or interactions, connections with other people, and create a runway that you desire leading up to the holidays.
Yeah.
Just looking at some of that old footage and different pictures can help you decide, you know what, I don't want to be stressed out for the holiday. I want to be able to take a week off. Whether it's before Christmas, after Christmas, and so when you start gathering all these things, you can think with the end in mind. And I don't mind working maybe 6 or 7 days a week for the next 3 months if I know that I'm going to be taking some time off around the holidays,
Yeah.
because you already know what your strategy is. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly, in advance, because like we were saying before, you have to pre-plan if you want to
Mhm.
not be stressed out at the last minute. So take advantage of, yeah, it may sound, July, Christmas in July, it might sound a little weird right now, but believe me, when it comes, like you said, Thanksgiving, usually around, let's see, this is July, so usually around really September, October. It's like once you get there, it's January already. It's like what happened to this last quarter? What you mean it's time to Thanksgiving? I what it's just it
Sure.
just goes like a how the avalanches, right? Once it starts,
Exactly.
bigger and bigger and bigger. So why not start now? Why not pre-plan and just like we were saying, do a little bit at a time. You don't have to do everything now. If we
Mm-hmm.
start early now, we can just do the little things, start with our list, start,
Mm-hmm.
noticing things. Oh, dang, I lost my such and such. I wish I had some more. Oh, okay, check. Let me put that on my list. Start listening to little
Right.
cues going on around you, right? For those that you shop for. So yeah, July is not too early.
I love that. And so one of the things that we're working on is creating a Christmas catalog. So it is going to be filled with different business owners who have holiday specials. So this is going to require you to think about what do you want to make available during the
Yeah,
holidays. Maybe you don't have that in mind yet, but this catalog is going to be in effect from July through November. Well, actually, December 1st, which is Cyber Monday, right?
yeah, yeah.
So, if you have some ideas of things that you would like to add to the catalog, if you click on this QR code, it's going to highlight our Get Branded event that's starting in August, but also we have a few holiday specials as you scroll down the end of that landing page to see some of the things that we're offering now, for special prices. And this is another thing. See, if you're doing things early, you can have some leeway with some of the fees that you charge. Because right now it's still summer, even though my kids are starting school next week. But for other people, they're still trying to finish up the last few things over the summer holiday before the fall, so
Yeah.
they are not even thinking about the stuff that you are trying to put out right now anyway. So you're able to do that with less stress and, trying to manage a lot of things. So, my kids will be back in school. So once I get into that routine, it's going to be easier for me than somebody who is like, oh, it's back to school. Call me back sometime at the end of September. You see what I'm saying? And I'm already a few weeks ahead. So this is how we want to be. You want to be ahead rather than behind and having that pressure of feeling like you have to catch up. So do you want to share some of the specials that you have in the catalog?
Well, you caught me off guard.
Okay.
Do you want to? Can we pull up the boards link?
Yeah, so let's see if I can share my screen. We're learning, y'all. We're doing this just impromptu. Okay. So
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so can you see my screen?
I do. I
Okay.
see us in YouTube.
All right. So now do you see the branded thing now?
I do.
Okay. So I'm just gonna we can just walk everybody through this. Let me see, does it let me?
Yeah.
So again, talking about the Get Branded, these are a few shots from that event. What
Yeah.
you want to tell them how we even got started with the Get Branded because it really you're the brains behind all that.
Y'all, she loved me to tell this story. Look. I'm gonna have to start having that picture ready so I can show people. So
Yeah, I want to.
uh, yeah, so I was doing a book signing. I decided to do one back home in Mississippi. And I wanted to have something, a branded item, so that people, would be able to, like you said, scan the QR code. I would have, and people would know where the room was that I was going to be at this facility. And so I got one made really quick at a Office Depot or something like that. So, I've embraced my gray. I was trying to look at some stuff. I was like, oh, it's only been a year, I guess, a little over a year. And so before that, I was keeping my hair brown. And the lady at the Office Depot, when I, went to go pick up my branded item, she was like, "So who is this lady in the picture?" And I'm looking at her like, "Girl, that's me. What are you talking about? Don't be doing that. Don't do that. Don't do that, ma'am." So I was like, wow, I've been saying I needed more headshots and pictures. I guess I need to because obviously I'm looking totally different with all this gray on my head. So I was like, LaChelle, I've been wanting to get some shots, some headshots and stuff. But you know what? I know I can't be the only one. It's got to be other people that need to and want to do the same thing. I said, so I think I want to, let's make a whole event out of this. Let's just make it fun and do a whole event. So we did, planned it, had an awesome time over at Engage Content Studios in Norcross, Georgia, with the ladies over there. Plug. So
Hmm.
I was talking to a couple of them today to get some pictures from one of the ladies that attended the branding event. Right. So we had, we was like, we're not even going to be concerned about the number of people because we've really felt like whoever God needed and intended to be there would be there, because that's one of our things is intention. So the ladies that, as you can see the picture there, and I think that's most of them. We just had one person that didn't show up, and one of our guest speakers too, Kim
Hmm.
Schooler, one of our power partners.
Hmm.
So we had this event. It was awesome. Zandra Evans, she, the CEO of Zandra TV Network, she got a chance to share with us via Zoom. Girl, technology done changed the game, ain't it?
Hmm.
So when she was able to be there, she was at a whole nother speaking event, right? So she was there. We had some awesome branding items. My sister Tanya Smith, plug, she
Hmm.
made us some t-shirts that were awesome. One of our VIPs was Darlene Lyons. We had Jacqueline Jackson, Dorothy there as one of our VIPs as well. Raquel, one of our co-laborers and partners at Zonda TV Network. She was one of our sponsors. So we've just been connected in the community. And look, you guys, it doesn't stop. We
Hmm.
have all sorts of power partners that have awesome events that's changing people's lives and making a difference. So one of our other partners, my friend there, Kelly Ryan, she is actually going to be at one of our master classes, I think, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
That's one of the things we do with the Get Branded also. So she'll be at one of LaChelle's as well. Look, okay, I guess I'll do the next one since I put that one on there and shared with you. So we have Dr. C. She is amazing, doing some awesome things for women and the mental health community, not only here in Atlanta, Georgia, but also in Virginia and Maryland, where she's from in that area. So we're going to have that Partners Empower luncheon and brunch, and I'll actually be a speaker there. We're going to be talking about self-care and all other sorts of things, and you'll be able to get CEU units if you need to get those. And I think there's a small fee. And of course, if you want to get branded, there's our fee. I thought I was going to get a break. So Christmas in July specials. I have three things that we actually have here today. So one of those things that I'm offering is my high demand Get Grant Ready Masterclass video and workbook. So what happens with this is when I kept hosting these workshops, these masterclasses, and I was like, you know what? How about I just make this into a digital product so that people can, get this information over and over again. I won't have to always have to be a live one, but they can actually take this home with them and work at their own leisure in their own speed, right? So there's a special there. It's going to be $59. You get your workbook and your video for teaching you how to do grants and what to do for that. Then I actually I have a new book out, Mindset of Faith. I have a special going on with that right now, $15.99. That was a whole journey, still a whole journey God has me on with that. So that has been a blessing. I've had a lot of people give me some feedback from that. So it's been amazing. And then my last offer there is you would get, oh, I didn't correct that. So now I'm gonna have to keep it like that, ain't it? So you would get a grant template, and it would be a general template with that. And let's see, it says list of over. So I have a grant list. And then you would get also a 30-minute session with me. So I done really gave y'all a whole lot. That template wasn't supposed to be on there, but look, if y'all get it from here, you'll get it. Won't nobody else get it though, okay?
I
You will
love
get
it. I love it.
that.
I
So
love
those are
it.
the things I'm gonna be offering from now until Cyber Monday.
Awesome. All right. And so pulling up the rear is you are your brand, right? So how are you showing up? So I'm having a back to school business basics course where it's 6 weeks or 6 sessions. However you want to do it. I have a morning and an evening. So if you want to do 2 sessions a week, it might not take you 6 weeks or however you want to do that. But that is a special that I'm running. And so when you click on the link, there's a special fee for that that is available. I believe it's through July 31st. That's the first special that I have. I think a lot of times when we think about some of these things that we want to do, we take too long, right? To make
Mm,
a decision. Now,
yeah.
I'm not saying that, I don't believe in doing things quickly and not being strategic, okay? But sometimes we get into indecision. I was listening to a lady on a podcast one time and she said, well, stress is when you are not able to make a decision. She said, if you're going
Mm,
back and forth and like, should I do the red one or the green one or the purple one? She says you'll be spending days and hours and months sometimes trying to make a decision. So that's really where the struggle is. But once you
right.
make a decision, you can move on. And if you make a mistake, then you could change it, alter it, or whatever the case is. But when
Mm,
you're in limbo, of not making a choice, that's really where a lot of your pain comes from. So I just say all that to say, make a decision. If you decide, hey, I don't want to go through Christmas the way I went through it last year, what is one thing that you could do to change it? What
mm,
is one strategy that you can implement? Maybe it's delegating or planning your calendar better, whatever. Take action because that's going to be where the whole thing starts to change when we put some action behind what it is our intention is.
right. Because you calling me out now. I have this to-do list in my head, and I already know how that operates. It's like,
Hmm.
girl, stop that. Go ahead. And I've started learning to use all these technology tools that we have. I'm
Hmm.
sitting up here propping up my phone. And it's funny, Dr. C just texted me about, stuff about the
That
spirit
event.
and
Hmm.
stuff. Yeah. So I was like, I just gave you a plug. But some of these things like this, I started using my phone more. I put
Hmm.
notes and reminders in my phone much more than I used to. I start creating lists in my notes so that I won't forget, oh, that's right. I got to do 1, 2, 3 things before I speak at this event, or I need to contact these people. Put this in my reminders so that I won't forget. I just go ahead and put it on my calendar because even the reminders, I forget to go to the to-do list on the phone, girl. So I have to, you have to use all these little things
I'm
that we
telling you,
on a
girl.
regular basis. We paying enough money for this stuff. We might as well use it to its full capacity. You know
It's
what I'm
so true. It's so true.
saying?
So, that's just a little bit of a breakdown that we are on here to share with y'all because, it's the weekend and, it's Christmas in July. And this is a fun time for me because, my daughters, especially, we start watching Christmas movies. It's like Christmas in July. So we start getting, started ever since I started doing this for my business. Now they are excited about doing all this. So I do want to, honor everybody's time and thank y'all for watching. But as we close, what are some final thoughts that you would share with everybody, Anita, before we go?
Y'all, I should have known she was gonna do this. I'll never be ready. I'll never be ready when she put me on the spot. So, last thoughts for some of the topics that we've been talking about. LaChelle mentioned earlier that this month is Minority Mental Wellness Month, right? Awareness. And yesterday was actually International Self-Care Day. And self-care has really been something that has been one of my, speaking points because I had to get to a place, and time in my life that I had to start taking care of me.
Hmm.
And I started to understand that if I take care of me, I mean, really, I'm taking care of everybody else by doing that I care for and that I take care of. Because if I'm not cared for, then I can't care for anybody else. And
Hmm.
so I think, this can even be a part of this topic of Christmas in July. Do not stress yourself out about all these things, all these events, all the gifts, all the shopping, all the cooking, all of these things. Make it a family event, make it a family, thing that you do together. Oh, Sally, you go get all the potatoes, and then we'll just set a time, we'll cut, sit down and cut all, a shell of peas. See, I'm a country girl. Shell these peas early in July, August. Let's go on and freeze them or cook
Hmm.
them now. Go ahead and freeze them because my mom, she'll freeze something in a minute, baby. I'd be like, Mom, I don't think you're supposed to freeze that stuff. I don't think that's going to work. No, don't do that, baby. But cook things early. Start cooking early. Freeze your stuff. Making it an event. And it becomes a family thing that you do, a new tradition, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking this, but I'm talking to myself because we don't have a lot of traditions around here. So I love the fact of the Christmas movies. It was a really crazy one that always makes me laugh that came to mind when you said that. I was like, I like that idea of starting now to start maybe once a month start watching a Christmas movie or twice a month or something like that. So I love that. The most important thing to me is any time of the year, all year long, but especially, around the holidays, is just spending time with your loved ones, that
Hmm.
quality time. That's the most important thing. The gifts are wonderful. The material things are great, but think about time. Time is your most precious gift that you could give somebody. So think about that. Spend time with loved ones. You all, I just had a classmate that lost her mom recently. And I don't even know where I would, my mom is such a big part of my life. I couldn't even imagine. So that's one of the reasons I, decided to quit my job, to be honest. That was one of the reasons I wanted to be able to go care for my mom, visit her, take care of her, do the things with her, spend time with her that I couldn't do with that stressful job I had. So, quality of time, spending time with your loved ones, I think that's the most important thing that you could give as a gift to those you love.
I love that, and that is so true. And I think, when we have our final moments with people, I don't think we're going to be concerned about the gifts. We're going to be just like, man, especially if it's somebody we hadn't talked to. And a lot of times it's like, man, I was thinking about calling them, right? And then it's too late. So, just really taking this time to figure out what really matters to you. Because I think a lot of times we get roped into what everybody else is doing, but it may not be what works for us.
Yeah.
We can do something different. So just a funny story. I was with my daughter last weekend. We were looking for wedding dresses. And so we went to one place. And so after we got done there, we had like an hour and a half before we had to go to the next place. So we're like, let's just stop and get something to eat. So it ended up being me and my daughter and her maid of honor and then one of my other daughters. So we go to this restaurant, they seat us right away, and it already the menu just didn't have a lot of vegetarian options.
Mhm.
So two of us were don't eat meat. So anyway, we're just like, well, we'll just get some sides or whatever, but it was already just this angst about it.
Mhm.
And we were there for 15 minutes and nobody even came over to get our drink order or anything. And
What?
so, they're saying talking about what's not on the menu and all this. And I said, we can leave. We can go to a different restaurant, and go
Yeah.
somewhere else. And so that's what we did. But the point, they were like, you're right. Sometimes we get so entangled in stuff, we don't realize we have
Mhm.
a choice. You know,
Choices, options. Oh my
it's
God, yeah.
true. So it's like, I think back to, I would tell myself every year, I am not going to do this to myself again. Whether it's somebody's birthday or, getting ready for anniversary, whatever, but what do? We keep doing the same thing. And so that's nobody's fault but ours,
That's
so it's
right.
really learning that people are around you that you are not even taking note of that are doing things differently and can help you. You're just somewhere over in the corner doing the same old thing over and over again. But
Right.
once you decide that you're going to do something different, it's like your eyes are open and you're like, oh my gosh, she's over here doing Christmas in July. And then it's like you notice it with everybody, right?
Yeah.
So I think really deciding and asking yourself the questions with the end in mind is so
Mhm.
important when you get started because it's the little things. I
Yeah.
know for myself when I think about the holidays, I have a list, and if you have a list, then you're not coming up with extra people at the end. Now, sometimes we forget we're like, oh my gosh, like if my daughters are dating somebody, I try to get the person they're dating something, even if it's a book or a gift card or something, right?
Wow.
But if you don't have your list together, you can't have a budget. How are you going to have a budget if you don't have a list? I mean, I'm just saying. Because you're not going to hit your budget. You're going to always be, oh, I need to get the mailman something. Oh, my Amazon guy. It just keeps no, you got to start with a budget. Girl, yeah, we be having gifts for everybody. Now, when I say a
How
gift,
do I get on the list? I just need to be
right,
on somebody's list because I be over here struggling. I
when
ain't
I
got
say
nothing.
gift for the Amazon person, it's little things. So,
Yeah.
and this is so good. My daughter, I used to give these little gift bags out when I would see people, they have a mint in them and a sample of a Mary Kay lip gloss or something, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes I would have like a affirmation or some kind of thought, but it would have my contact information with it, right?
Yes.
So she came to me the other day and she's like, Mom, can you help me with my business? I want to give out these little things. So
Oh.
she does eyelashes. She does the clusters for you. So
Nice.
she got like a little mascara brush and like a brush where you could put your eyeshadow on. And I told her to put the mints in there on her business card. So
Yeah.
now she's passing that out. So that's something like, if it's something that you can get in bulk, you can get like 100
Mhm.
of them little $1.25 gift bags or something from Dollar
Mhm.
Tree. I think she did like 50 of them and it only cost her like $20, right? To do
Mhm.
all this stuff. So you think about what are some things that you could do. So maybe it is just some mints and something that might be related to your business and it could be an affirmation on the back of your business card or something. But
Yeah.
it's just the thought. What happens is it has that shock value. And
Mm.
people really will remember it because they are not even, it catches them out of left field. So when I say a gift for the Amazon person, it could be you just have a Christmas gift bag with some mints in it, maybe a cookie cutter, you know, with your business card. Happy holidays,
Are you talking
right?
about the delivery man? Because I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
the delivery person.
Okay.
And so
All
what
right.
you could do is have like a little basket with like these little gift bags made up. And anytime somebody comes to your house delivering something, you can give them something.
I love that, even though I don't have a lot, I'm doing more. I'm doing more. But
Yeah.
what was I getting ready to say? Dang, see how squirrel. See what I'm talking about? It come and go just like that. Shoo! It's like, oh, okay, it's gone. But I did want to say this. Maybe that'll come back. I don't know. We have to do it.
Hmm.
I was looking at both of us, and what we have on, we don't talk about, our
Yeah.
themes and stuff. And I forgot I wanted to mention that a little bit. And what gave me the idea is because I was having a bad hair day. And I decided since I had to go to the VA to go get my little box of food they like to give out to us and supplies and stuff, I tied this on. I said, I'm going to represent my comrades today and I'm going to put on my camouflage over my head to cover up all this gray sticking up like, Don King. And so I said, you know what? Let me find my army green little top I wear. Let me put this on to represent my people. So that is one of my things I love to do is support veterans. And so,
Hmm.
self-care for veterans too. And then LaChelle is over here, of course, she is married to Supermom. She is gonna do what she do, red, white, and blue, baby. It is every day. I love it. I love it. And then y'all see that little snowflake, don't you? Where they do that at? How she find this stuff? I just don't get it. I'm like, I love it. I love it. I love it. So I just want to put that in there. And
Well,
I
I
still
appreciate that. Yeah, look, I get to going on a tangent, girl, and don't even be thinking about it. But these are things like even if you are doing these virtual events, you can do this for yourself, right? Looking at how we are able to think about the veterans. We got Veterans Day coming up, right? Maybe it's even having a veteran background where you may not be a veteran, but you can have some veteran specials, right? For your business. So we've got some
ah,
holidays in between Christmas here in the United States, of course, but there are other ways that you can still capitalize on some of these holidays that are coming up. So just something food
yeah,
for thought, you know.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
do want to highlight, I'm gonna share my screen again. Let me see
okay.
if I can get this
And
thing
by
up.
the way, you all, that picture in the background, those are some more pictures that we took during our branded event here in
Hmm.
Atlanta, Georgia. So those of you all in the Dallas Fort Worth area, get ready, get ready, get ready. They
Yes.
gonna spill the beans, but it's coming.
Yes, we are going to be doing some great things. This branded thing, I tell you, we just keep on growing and growing, right? And
It has
so we
grown.
are
Yes.
passionate about just showing up and doing what we do. So excited about that.
Uh-huh. Yep, it has grown. Arms, legs, fingers and
Hmm.
toes, and giving birth to babies. It
It's true.
started small and now it's a whole family.
Absolutely. So I want to highlight the fact that we have one of our producers, and we
Yeah.
mentioned this a few minutes ago, regarding underneath our branded uh, landing page. But Kelly Rhymes is going to be coming and sharing with us about confidence, uh, around the topic of alopecia. So it is also Alopecia Awareness Month. And so she is going to be coming to our mastermind that we have on Wednesdays at 11. And
Yeah.
so I'll be sure to put that link in the chat as well. But, again, collaboration is where it's at. What holidays and events are coming up, even if you're thinking about, Labor Day or Veterans Day, who are some people that you can collaborate to extend your brand. So it may not be that you're spending money certain places or certain things, but you are also extending the reach of your brand with different people as we are going through the holiday season. So I just wanted
Yeah,
to highlight that as well.
that's
But stay
amazing.
tuned for
Yeah,
some of the get branded uh, situation. We are looking to taking it on the road. That's all we're going to say until we have some more information to share. But
yes, yes.
want to thank everybody for watching. Appreciate
Yeah,
y'all. And want to wish you Merry Christmas and Happy
yeah.
New Year.
All of that early.
And stay tuned because we are going to be having some more events leading up to the holiday season. All right.
That's right.
So
Great
bye,
seeing you all.
everybody.
See you next time. Merry Christmas in July.
Merry Christmas.